right, traders, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Relentless recap. If you're tuning in, be sure to hit that thumbs up. And of course, if you're a new viewer, as you watch throughout the video, consider subscribing to the channel. Now, before we jump into it, let's talk quickly about our disclaimer. Let's talk about the risks that are involved with day trading and investing in the stock market. Guys, as much as we, you know, like to think that the market is this place that it's all, glory, that's not the case. There are some tragedies that are happening here too. There are a lot of risk, right? There's a lot of risk here in the market, and we have to understand, and remind ourselves of that each and every day as we come into the office. So remember that, like any other business in the United States of America, in the world, day trading is risky. It has its pros and it has its cons. This is not get rich quick. It takes months and more commonly years to become efficient and very competent in the market. All right. So with that being said, if you're not consistently making money, it's a good idea to utilize the simulator where you can practice trading, right, with an artificial account, or you can utilize risk money, right? That's where you use a small amount of money that if you lose it, it doesn't affect your life. Because if you come in guns a-blazing and you're not consistent, you will be at the mercy of the markets. And as we know, the markets are merciless, all right? So if you want to get started and you want to build your education, you guys can check out Merciless Markets, right? We'll talk about that a little bit more as we go throughout the video. That's a course that I offer. Other than that, remember, as we continue with the disclaimer here, remember that the live streams and recaps are not an invitation to copy trade. There's a system, there's a strategy, and it is detailed. There's a lot of things that we're looking for as we're trading. We're not just buying and selling and guessing randomly, right? Lastly, keep in mind that there are, unfortunately, fake accounts popping up. People pretending to be me, trying to use my likeness for fraudulent activities. Guys, remember, I do not invest for my subscribers, which means I will never ask you for personal information. I will never ask you for money, and I will never message you first, right? Keep in mind, I will never message you first, all right? So with that being said, let's jump into today's recap. Let's talk about the stocks we traded, and we'll talk about the entries that we took, the risk management that we were looking to apply, and we'll also talk about how we found the stocks that we traded. So let's start off with the stocks that we traded today and how we came about, knowing them, right? Being aware that they're up and that they're moving. So it all started, with Momo Pro. This is the scanning software that I use every single day. And in particular, this section down here, right, which is the discovery section, which is essentially a gap scanner. And you can see it's scanning stocks that are up, what is this, 3,000% at the moment. I'm not sure if this company might have had a split because the volume is light, but I'm looking for something very specific, right? I'm looking for stocks that are up a decent amount, percentage-wise, that also has a decent amount of volume, right? And on top of that, I want the amount of shares available to the public to be limited. What does that mean? Each and every stock in the market has a certain amount of shares available that's available for the public to trade. And depending on the size of the company, that supply can be higher or lower. And so small cap companies with lower floats, we've realized, can be more volatile. And we know that with all the crazy volatility and price action, there can be some areas where we can be able to get good trades, get good opportunities, right? So remember, these are the criteria that I'm looking for every day, right? When I come in. And you can see SSNT is third placed on this list. And it was up a little bit higher before it sold off here. And this is how I found the stock. Came in, went to the platform, boom. This platform scans all 10-15,000 stocks in the market, and so I don't have to. This is like automatic. Back in the days, people had to wake up 4 a.m., try and read through the headlines to see what's going to be up. Now I just wake up and boom. So check out Momo Pro, right? The Pro Plus is 30 bucks and you guys can get 25% off for 6 months. With the Pro Plus, you can get the discovery section, which is what you need. So now that we found the stock that we were going to trade, what patterns did we utilize in order to be able to make money today? So first, let's start off with some context. How was the stock looking in pre-market, which is before 9:30 market open? So in pre-market, we started off here. We gapped up a bit from $4, right? Previous day, let's see, we closed around 360. So we had a small gap up here around, let's see, we opened up around 427, and from there it pushed up. We got up to 750 and then all the way to 1395. This is around 8 a.m. From 8 a.m. it pulled back, sold off, and started going sideways. Let's say around 8:45 heading into the open. We're kind of in this range or up, down a little bit. And so I'm like, okay, can we see a red to green? What is a red to green? A red to green is, from the sell-off that we have right here, can we curl back all the way up to those highs? That's what a red to green would be. And you don't necessarily have to go all the way back to the highs for it to be a red to green. You just need some sort of a bounce. So when we come forward to the open, right, I do have a couple of trend lines. We don't want it to look super crazy. In fact, we can get rid of a few trend lines, right? Just to clean things up a little bit. We can get rid of a few trend lines. We'll keep the blue ones. So SSNT, we started off the day, we had a high of 837 and it starts to sell off. We're halted down. It resumes lower, and out of the resumption down, it does bounce up a little bit, and we got back over the high point of the resumption, which was about 710. So we got to 705 and then to 730, and right here we proceeded to make higher lows. So we talked about the red to green on the grand scheme of the entire move from pre-market highs, but even just in this area here from 830 down to these lows of 650, we've had a red to green. That's our very first pattern that we traded today, the red to green, right? So we were watching this area here for entries. And in fact, I got to pull up my show trades because I can't remember exactly where my first trade came. But yeah, the red to green, right? So when we talk about, the classes and what we're looking for and what we teach, the red to green, one of the famous patterns that we look at every day. So we have the V-shaped red to green here, and this thing started to curl up. Let's pull on our show trades just to see if we did get a chance down here, because sometimes it's hard to remember. Let's refresh. Let's zoom in. And so, okay, there was another stock moving, and I was a little late to the red to green. But you know what they say, better late than never. So the red to green was in full effect, and there's a couple of different places that I can buy on the red to green. First and foremost, let's pull up the drawing tool here. There's a couple of different entries that I can watch. First, there's the bottom right here, right? Once we price in this low and we start to move up, I can start to watch and risk off to this level if I'm watching it at the very low of these candlesticks. Second, as the 1 minute candle curls up and then makes the new high, right? So right over this level here, as we're curling up on this green candle, you can see, we into the new candle, we pushed up a little more before coming back down. And so even from there, there's other patterns that I can look for, which is called the baby pullback, right? So we had the red candle, okay, we are still getting higher lows, right? Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. That's something that we're still getting here. But the baby pullback, from this high point, we dip and then we rip. We dip a little bit and then we rip. And so right here, I saw it. I was watching another stock at this time, right? This is between 940 and 943. I was watching at stock ATHE. So you can see, 940 to 943. This is the only reason I'm not already trading the other ones, because I'm watching at this one thinking this one can get back over highs. That ended up not being the case. You can see we only made 130 bucks, but yeah, we were watching the other one, but we noticed, okay, this thing is halted up right here. right? So S, S, and T, let's pull it up on E-Trade. I know it might be a little hard to notice if you're not familiar with the Thinkorswim charting. So we'll use E-Trade just so you can get a better visualization of what happened. So the stock was going up too fast, too quickly, it gets halted. And I said, you know what? This is my chance because there's still another entry that we look for because the halt itself is a pattern, right? The halt pattern, I can trade it. There's an opportunity that I look for there as well. That's one, right? And then on top of that, guess what else is also coming? The previous high of day, which was at the time right here. What was the high? 837. So despite coming late to the show, right? Despite coming late to the show, I'll draw this as straight across as I can. We might as well just put a trend line. But yeah, as you know, coming late to the show, there's still a few entries that I can get involved with here. And that's what we ended up doing. Now, guys, today I faced a lot of difficulties. I had, lag with my executions. And also on top of that lag, I had some higher fills. The higher fills thing is something that, is ongoing. It's kind of part of the deal with the high volatility in the stocks, quick movements, 100,000 people trying to buy at different places. The stocks are all over the place. Sometimes you get a little higher entry than you need. Okay, cool. But on top of that, again, the lag, feeling that my position is not getting filled as quickly as it usually would. And lastly, the order entry window popping up. And, as I'm buying in critical areas where time is of the essence, having to click auto send, which is already checked. Maybe it's a different window. I have to review it to see what the window was actually saying, but I wasn't able to get out in 2 or 3 different areas that was crucial areas that time was of the essence. Cost me dearly, at least 1,500. So disappointing there, but it's part of the deal. We understand that these things happen and that we must overcome, we must prevail. We just had a monthly recap yesterday where we talked about how it is important for us to stay calm and disciplined in the trial times when things get difficult, when we get red trades, when unforeseen things happen. And today I felt like it was just, right off the bat, an early test. But, we must not only prevail this time, we must prevail every time. And so I'm looking forward to being in tough situations moving forward and reacting well. This is where you have to ask yourself, who are you? Are you that gal? Are you that guy? There's phrase that's been going around on social media that says, I am him. You know, she is her, right? And so, are you that person that will say, we compare it to professional sports, that will say, hey, pass me the ball. I'm going to take this jump shot and I'm going to seal this game. Ice water in my veins. That's what it comes down to. That's the requirement that we need to have in those tough areas. Staying cool, calm, collected, and looking to deliver. So it's going to happen to us time and time again. And in every situation, we must come out on top. We must win the battle against ourselves. It's you versus you. It's me versus me. Can I be disciplined and courageous enough in those moments to come out on top? So we get the resumption. We get a beautiful dip and rip. But again, guys, throughout this sequence, we didn't do as well as we could have because of the issues that we were having. We had some crazy high fills. I've been showing a ton of archives, so I'm trying not to show too much of it because, again, it is an exclusive feature for the students, right? The archive will be uploaded for the students here today. So I don't want to show it all out on YouTube every time. Okay, once in a while is all right, but not every single day. So SSNT, it continues. We get this area here where it's a bit of a slow grind, but we start to wedge, which is another one of our patterns that we look for. It starts to wedge, and Relentless Trader right here starts to get on the offensive and starts to attack the stock as it goes higher. So let's bring up the show trades again to show you guys that I was getting aggressive on this particular area. Let's refresh it. Right, so right on this candlestick here, you guys will see that I'm getting in, right? for first 1,500 shares here, in at 1071, out at 1135, and then I tried to get aggressive because I'm like, man, this thing looks like it's about to go crazy. And I'm in at 1187, out at 1211, with about 6 to 8, was that 8,000 shares? 246. It's showing that I held a position into the new candle, which could be possible. The candle might have opened up as we were selling. But yeah, so, or maybe I took another position towards the end of the candle, something like that. But yeah, we were getting aggressive in the right area there as we were breaking out. As we were breaking out. And we even tried to buy the dip here in at 1157, out at 1139. Well, you can see we got caught. Ultimately we got caught right there, and we gave back a little bit off those highs that we had. But we stayed focused, we were resilient, and we continued pushing forward. And that was the key for me on this particular stock. You guys will see we had some small losing trades here with some smaller size, but ultimately we did what we needed to do to capture the gains. And this stock still looks decent. I will say I left out here in this move down, but I think I left out too early, because right here we had another pullback entry that we look for in the classes, which is called the VWAP pullback. The red to green, the bear trap pattern. It's similar to the bear trap pattern. I think Marcelo covered the VWAP, dip, but yeah, the bear trap pattern, right? We're getting these huge bottoming wicks, right? Similar to the VWAP pullback. And if I didn't leave, I think I could have captured these two opportunities. So firstly, from a low of 981 to a high of 1038 right here, sweet move. And then it retests the VWAP level bottoming wick, and this time from 990, so we had a higher low right here, higher low, and from 990 all the way to 1161. Guys, on a day where there's nothing moving, right? You have to keep the perspective. On a day where there's nothing moving, just think about when a stock goes from 990 to 1160. It's like $3 a share, right? It's like $3 a share. Man, okay, maybe not $3 a share, maybe like $1.90, 80 cents, whatever the math is. But this is what we want to see. Like, you can do a lot of damage in this area here, especially if you're already in sync, you're connecting well. Because more than likely for me, I look at this entire thing here as one trade, right? But I'll trade it multiple times, and so I call it a sequence. If I'm watching this and I can recognize this higher low early and be in around 10, 10, 10, 10, 15, maybe 9.99 if I'm lucky, there's a high chance that I can trade this entire move very well. It gives the baby pullback right here. It just surges up like nobody's business. Another quick baby pullback, surges up. This time we actually had a 3-bar play, red candle. The 1-minute candle makes a new high, surges up. Oh, come on. When I see stuff like this, I'm like, man, I left out too early. And right now the stock is moving. It definitely makes me want to look for a trade, but we're coming up towards the end of the day. Maybe best not to do anything too crazy here. But it definitely needs to continue over these levels here. If we can get over like 12 and hold above 12, maybe this thing tries for pre-market highs in after hours, right? But yeah, that was the day. And of course, this right here is not the classes and how it looks. These are the videos, some of the videos that were uploaded to the classes. These are not all of the videos. But yeah, when it comes to patterns and stuff, you guys can check out the course website, which is called Merciless Markets. As I mentioned earlier in the video, these markets are merciless, all right? And I can show you guys what it looks like from the student's perspective. So this is the entire curriculum. What you guys are seeing here is only about, like 30% of everything. There's still a ton more stuff, right? This is only about 30% of the classes, right? These videos here, these were uploaded to the classes. But there's way more stuff here if you come and you look at the curriculum. and you go all the way down. Right? It's a ton. A countless amount of hours there, especially when it starts to come to the live archives. So you guys can check it out. You can utilize coupon code DREAM for 50% off MMU Gold and get started with your day trading education today. Guys, it's all here. And so the archive of me will be uploaded right after this recap. So yeah, you guys can come on down. You can check it out. Let me sign in. I'm going to sign in from a student's perspective so you guys can see how it looks. If you ever wondered, man, what does the classes look like if I'm to get started? All right, so when you log in as a student, this is exactly how it'll look. So you have the progression system here. As you go through, the software will be tracking your progress. So you'll know how much percentage of the course you've completed as you go. And we recommend at least a few videos a day. Some of the chapters are a little shorter, some are a little longer. You know, whatever your availability is, you definitely want to be putting in some time, right? So yeah, you come on down, you know, you go through, you can revisit any classes, even if you go to 100% completion, that doesn't stop you from going back and revisiting key areas, right? So maybe you might want to touch up a little bit on support and resistance, and so you can come here and hang out with Marcelo as he goes through the classes. Of course, let's put up the HD, right? Let's jump up to 1080p, and we can come here and learn with the mighty stocks himself, right? Mighty stock trader Marcelo, the big boy. So you guys can check it out, and you can come all the way down. Some people really and truly they love the archives as well. So if they're already at a decent place with their education, they'll watch a few of the edges and they'll jump on down to the archive. They'll say, hey, let me see how Marcelo did on this particular day right here, 6,300, right? If you want to check out these lavish green days that you're seeing from us, you can. All the red days are here too. Hey, how did RT lose 1,400 on this particular day? Right? You can go see all of this good stuff, the good, the bad, the ugly. Hey, how did RT make 5,000 on this day? How did Marcelo make 2,500 on this day? Right? And so you can click here and you can come and you can see all the behind the scenes of what Marcelo is doing. Hey, how did RT make 5,000 on this day? You come, you put up the HD. All right, hold up. You come, you put up the HD, and then you start skipping through, wherever you want to go, whatever trade you want to see, whether it's a halt up, halt down, including the level 2, boom. So that's gonna do it, guys. Check out Merciless Markets today, and hit that thumbs up on the way out. It's been Relentless Trader, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. So stay safe, stay green, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning bright and early for another beautiful day in the markets.